We are spot on. Thank you so much, your friends and followers. Spot on. It's Onolapo. Thank you. Don't forget to follow me here or any platform. Just follow. Very important to follow, girl. Thank you so much again to followers and friends of Spot on. Yes, we're sporty and it's all about sports. We do sports here. We talk sports. We breathe sports. That's what the show's about. And yes, it's how it is on a Monday weekend. Of course, we know that leagues are on break now. Of course, even here in Nigeria, the NPFL has been settled, and the CAF Champions League is played, and Pyramids were able to convert their home advantage to victory. And I wanted to talk about that, yes, before we go to Inter Milan, and because I just feel that Europe no longer uses this home and away. I think it should be changed. It's just unfair. Sundowns, they profited to against Ali that they scored that very little 1-1 to finish in Egypt. They came to the final. But I was like, why didn't Sunday even play at home? Like, that was wondering how the draws were made. But the fact is this Africa CAF Champions League, congratulations to Pyramids. We congratulate them. I mean, they joined a very elite group of clubs to win the Champions League. We have to feel for Sundown, in the final again, and yes, they couldn't win because of the fact that they also not take it. It's always come back. But the point I'm making is this: the home and away thing for us here in Africa must go. That's just it. If you want fair play, you want the best teams to win. Neutral venue, just like you saw what happened, Inter Milan PSG, neutral venue. So and I understand that because the finals are chosen ahead of time. Because I know that in 2012 Chelsea actually beat Bayern in their own stadium. As first time winners then 2012. So it's possible for the team whose home is being played to get to the finals on that kettle of fish. But when you use home advantage and anyway, Sundowns couldn't get the goal, which would have meant that they just couldn't get the breakthrough. And the Pyramids were able to hold on, and Pyramids champions of Africa for the very first time in their history. And I think you could say they came from had a very very tough running, but still the middle of advantage counts. So let's see what happens next season for us here. But of course, as you can see that there's no rest, even for the teams. The World Club Cup is World Cup for clubs, coming up very soon. In this month, so I'm like, wow, there's really no rest, all because of team money and all that. So money, and yes, the players have to just a very short break. For Man U, didn't even rest at all after their match against Aston Villa. They off to Malaysia. Yes, they lost the first one, but they were able to win the second one. You know, and Chidi will be doing very well there, getting 2 goals in the second match for Man U. But it's all about the Champions League. Congratulations to our champions in Africa, the pyramids of Egypt. While I would love CAF to please change that. Let's be like Europe. That one you can copy that. That's a good one. Since we are good at that, you know, that's a good one. One venue, I mean one final. This home and away. It's just unfair. Mm. Okay, so yes, it's all about the Champions League final on Saturday, and I posted on my Facebook after really we after the attack, well, even PSG they could not have expected they would win like that. Yes, they wanted to win. Even the great JJ coach I was saying, he said, 2-1. Why? What happened? And it's glad to see what happened. I think maybe Inter Milan were doing so much against Barcelona, but they still pick Como. Okay, fine. The match that cost them against Lazio, that cost them title. That's 2-2. But you still felt that, because I couldn't even predict it. I was saying, oh, but I was listening to the bookmakers. They say, oh, PSG will win. Everywhere you turned, you could see that. Everybody was thinking that PSG and they did win, but nobody would have thought that. Imagine, 5-0. What happens? Well, kudos must go to the coach of PSG, and when Mbappe was leaving, then let him go. PSG will do well. And Mbappe lives, and now, of course, for Mbappe, will be painful for him. But I'm sure he will be very pleased for his teammates, or former teammates now. He will still win the Champions League. Real Madrid will still be first. Just that they couldn't, you know, replicate that this season. They couldn't retain their title. That Arsenal win. We can forget it. You think Arsenal will go all the way. But one thing that was sure, I was thinking, was happy for that we have a first time winner. So the stadium in Munich, is lucky on the ground for first time winners. In the Marseille when Marseille won and against Milan, it's Milan, and this Milan were the favorites there. I remember then. And even the coach of Milan was like, we are beating about 10 matches in the trot. We're winners. But that's how he comes and, header and 1-0 finished then. But it was a game. But this one was, wow, I didn't see it. I must confess. Mm. I think it's time for the old guard inside to Asebi, the age. Even against Barcelona, get saying that Rafinha and Cook could have done more. Because Barcelona were leading just 3 minutes to go in 90 minutes. Just hold off like 5 minutes on it. But what Barcelona could not do, PSG could do it. And PSG showing class there. And it was good. It was a good one for them. It was a good one. And even Bolulu, coming up to score the last goal. So it was not only for. So I guess what. And I was mentioning Due. Due, I was actually looking at the video because the video is quarterfinal. But Due, I know Due scored the winning penalty against Liverpool. So I was like, this young man, I was so impressed that day um, with his composure. The fact that he was so young and he was able to score that. Even though Liverpool had this terrible penalty kicks, but still give credit to PSG for the masterclass that Enrique was able to. Well, of course, it was painful for me. I didn't. It's the final of the Champions League. Why would I have 5-0? In fact, the referee didn't even wait. Just 7 seconds into extra time, there was no extra time. It was that much. If you even give them 5 more minutes, how would they score five? Wow. So, of course, Marco, everyone's talking about him, turn his back, everything. But I think it was a collective thing for Inter. They had chances too, you know. Thuram had chance, the header, they had chances, you know. Even the one that was at Donnarumma with us make a save. So they had chances, but the speed, they just couldn't cope, and that was the pressing. That was the fact that I always give Enrique kudos. The Inter Milan had no answer. For them it's painful having lost just 2 years ago. So and that was even a close thing. In fact, you think I felt like they were even lucky that day. They were lucky against Man City. But this one, that was not. This one was a bit down. And let's see what happens. I think exactly will stay. I think he wants to stay. Uh, for him to very painful losing the second final. And as someone was saying, I don't know what was saying. Oh, okay, yes, the commentator was saying that there are positives for Inter. At least they got to the final. There's something, and one thing coming. That was like I couldn't even call it. Say, that their defense. But when they considered against Bayern, that was when you should have been in the quarters considered against Barcelona. Something was, I guess that was exploited, and came good. The bit of the I keep kudos to him for celebrating the goal. I was so informative. So the money spent, but said that, oh, let the big boys leave, and it paid off. So that's good. That's good. But they spent money. So the big boys left, but they still spent. Kavachika that came in. I think when he came in January, Kavachika, it's still a major part. Dembele, major part. Donnarumma did well, but if I had anything to do in the final, so kudos there to PSG. So there's hope for Arsenal fans. Don't give up. The time will come in the sun. But unfortunately, what happened? You know, dying and looting, and it became Paris was that shouldn't happen. It's a game of peace. Why do we have that after the match? The fans just went and took advantage. Some took advantage. There was so many things happening there that shouldn't be happening.